Hello there. My name is Murray. I'm with my co-host Corey, and we are the Real Guys. And this is the Real Show with two E's. We've got an action-packed show for you today for this special broadcast. We're your number one platform on the airwaves and YouTube for pop culture, film, and television discussion. As always, I'm accompanied by my co-host Corey. How are you doing today, Corey?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good. We're at Instagram on The Real Show FM and on Twitter at The Real Show FM. Also, if you just Google The Real Show Twitter, we're the first result that pops up. So, hi.
Hey, that's an achievement.
I know, I just realised that today. So, thought I'd pop it in the radio show. And on the YouTube show as well. And wherever else you get your podcasts. So, they're our socials. I'm glad I've given them a little bit of a plug. So, today, we're going to do a couple of interesting things with Star Wars. The first thing we're going to do is talk about our favourite Star Wars theories. Now, I hear you, listener, thinking, a theory? What could that be? Well, certain smart people throughout the internet have taken little details, little notes from comics or video games or Star Wars films and roped them together into a cohesive theory. It's basically making something out of nothing, taking something, inferring, guessing, making an estimate, and forming it together in a cohesive narrative theory. And we've collected our top three, our three favourites, haven't we, Corey?
We have indeed. I don't know if all made by smart people, but... No,
not very smart people. Well, I tried to define a theory. Is that a good definition, would you say?
Yeah, it's that's what a theory is.
Yeah, I'd say that's what a theory is. I'll let you go first. Kick us off with a bang.
So my first one is a theory about the new trilogy that came out. It's now since, I guess technically, not true, not canon. However, I wanted to include it because I don't kind of get why or where this person was going.
Okay.
So you know Snoke?
Snoke. I do know Snoke. Supreme Leader Snoke.
Yes, exactly. Now, first off, a lot of people were theorising who Snoke was. First off, Snoke is not Mephisto, before anyone says that.
No, Snoke isn't Mephisto.
He is also not Darth Plagueis.
Yeah, no, he's not. I thought that's where you were going with this for a second.
No. So I found a theory of now. Obviously, a lot of people can say random things. However, this is an actual thing that I found. Right. Someone for Snoke was possibly Mace Windu.
Snoke is Mace Windu. Right, okay. So what is your evidence? How is Snoke Mace Windu?
There's kind of one explanation for us, apparently.
Right, okay. So, Mace Windu. Right, okay. I'm excited to see how you do this.
So, obviously, there's the whole thing of Mace Windu dies, technically, or does he? Because there's the whole
rumours. Episode 3.
Yes, there's the whole rumours of Mace Windu's coming back for like his own TV show thing, whatever. And also, it then says we've seen other Jedi, / I guess, like Darth Maul, for example, who have died in rabbit ears and have come back and survived. The only evidence that essentially suggested this was that during the lightning strike and the fall that Mace Windu was struck by...
Yeah, he was hit by Palpatine's lightning.
Yes, he then gets disfigured.
Right, yeah. So Snoke is disfigured.
So he gets hit by lightning, he falls, hurts his head, gets disfigured, and turns into this old, pale, man who's bent on revenge.
With a different voice and different...
Yes.
Looking completely different.
Now, apparently, this is that he wants revenge on Palpatine, which doesn't then make sense, because then he kind of works for Palpatine anyway with his...
this has been very... Episode 9 has sort of thrown a spanner into these works.
Yeah. The other thing was, and this one doesn't make sense, because this had an explanation. People, it was saying that Mace Windu's lightsaber was purple because red and blue makes purple, and that was to foreshadow his turn to the dark side. So no, that's not what it was.
Right, it's because Mace Windu uses a fighting style which incorporates dark side of the Force techniques.
Yes, it's also because Samuel Jackson wanted a purple lightsaber.
Yeah, because he just asked for one. Yeah,
because he wanted to stand out in that massive battle.
Yeah, he wanted to be able to see himself in the Geonosis battle with the purple lightsaber, so that's how in the wide shots you can still see him.
I had to include that. It would have been funny if it was, but
no, I don't. I think episode 9 sort of disproved this theory quite a bit.
He's not Mace Windu.
No. Well, here's my first theory.
Okay.
Let me take you to episode 6, Return of the Jedi, if I may.
Okay. Right? You may. Indeed.
Let me take you to the forest moon of Endor. among the Ewoks, the happy dancing, yub-nub little teddy bears, right? Cute, aren't they?
I think I know where you're going.
Cute, aren't they, Corey? Aren't they?
Yeah,
they're
very
nice,
indeed.
Aren't they?
They're very nice. Very nice.
What if I told you that they were actually man-eating creatures?
Yeah, okay. I haven't got this one written down, but I was going to do this one.
Right, what if I told you that the Ewoks eat people? There's the evidence.
Go on.
When the Rebel team, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Leia, Chewbacca, all land on C-3PO and R2-D2, all land on the forest moon of Endor. Chewbacca is falls for a trap, captured by Ewoks. Han and Luke and Chewie are all taken to be cooked and eaten at the Ewok village, right? They've got logs, they're burning the fire under them, they have Han on a rotisserie, they are going to cook him and eat him, right? If Luke didn't save them with, force lifting C-3PO up to pretend he was some kind of, because they thought C-3PO was a deity and thought he was a god, so Luke used the force to lift him up and make him look magical, so the Ewoks stopped it, but they were going to cook them and eat them, right?
Yep.
So here's point number 2. At the end of the battle, at the end of the Battle of Endor, the Emperor is killed in the second Death Star, and Darth Vader's dead, and the Empire is cracked, and the rebellion's won the war, so they go back to Endor for a big party, right? The Ewoks are playing their music, playing Yub Nub, playing the victory songs. One Ewok is playing the drums on some helmets, on a Stormtrooper helmet, on a Scout Troop helmet, on a TIE pilot helmet. What happened to those men? What happened to them? Answer, the Ewoks ate them. That's right. They were catching Stormtroopers in nets during the battle. They were catching them to eat them later. They were using their armor, using their helmets as drum kits. Don't eat the meat of the Ewok party, people, because the Ewoks eat people.
There also was, in my research of this, there was a book that was released called How to Not Be Eaten by Ewoks, How to Survive in the Star Wars Universe.
Yes, do not be eaten by Ewok. Also, in Star Wars Battlefront 2, the video game, there was a game mode called Ewok Hunt, where you play as a group of stormtroopers trying to survive the night on Endor. We are being hunted down by Ewoks.
Yes.
So, Ewoks, man-eating, deadly animals, deadly creatures. Don't fall for Warwick Davis in a little fursuit. He can eat you.
I like to think that's the thing.
Yeah, it is a thing. It's cool. This isn't less of a theory, more of a fact. The fact that Ewoks can eat. Don't eat the meat, people. Don't eat that nice chicken bone because it's man bone. They've cooked it. Don't eat the meat of the Ewok party because the meat is people meat.
Very nice.
Now, what's your second theory?
So this one actually does make sense, and I'm kind of hoping it is a thing. And I'm sure you've heard of this one. I'm sure most people have. This is the most common one on my list. Darth Vader isn't fully evil until Episode 5.
Oh, right, okay. I have heard of this, but I'd like to know. Like to know more about it.
So obviously, at the end of Episode 3, we see Anakin. We get the fight, right?
Yeah, the Mustafar duel.
And then it's revealed. Then you get A New Hope, right? Darth Vader's there. It's the first. Well, it's the first Star Wars film. You see Darth Vader. There he is. Very polite for a Sith, kind of. Mm-hmm. As much as polite as a Sith can be. Very nice to the people around him. He does like one force choke in the film, and that's it.
He does.
Cool.
He force chokes Admiral Motti, but lets him go.
Cool. Very nice. And then what happens? Well, Rogue One shows us what happens. Mm-hmm. He lets the Death Star plans get away. And then what happens? And Darth Vader turns evil. He doesn't like people anymore. He finds out, I was too nice. I should have just killed them people straight away. Should have got the plan. Nothing should have happened. Yeah. Essentially, this whole theory revolves around the fact of he gets beaten by Obi-Wan. He becomes A New Hope. He's still somewhat nice. He's still somewhat, even though he believes in the dark side, he's still kind of, Anakin. Yeah. And then Episode 5 comes around, and the Death Star plans have been released, and then now he just wants revenge, essentially.
I think there's another thing that's also true. There's a fan film out there that was made by very infamous Star Wars YouTuber, Star Wars Theory. That's called Vader Shards of the Past. I recommend it to anyone who's interested in just Star Wars or fan films in general. Yeah. That portrays Darth Vader as a very sympathetic sympathetic character, and
Yeah.
it's set before Episode 5. It's set before Episode 4, I think, before Rogue One, just slightly before Rogue One, and it's very sympathetic to Vader, and it treats him as the good guy in the story. So that's a very solid theory, Corey.
Thank you.
Here's my second one. It does slightly involve Darth Vader. It also slightly involves someone who you've just spoken about.
Is it
which
Mace
is
Windu?
Snoke.
Oh, Snoke. Okay, never mind. Well,
Yes.
it could be Mace Windu.
No, Snoke is not Mace Windu. Snoke is not Darth Vader. Snoke is not Plagueis. You all know who Snoke really is?
Who is it? Who is it, Murray?
Snoke is Luke Skywalker.
I like how we've both got a Snoke is someone.
Yeah, we've both got a Snoke theory. When I went to go see Episode 8, The Last Jedi, there was someone in the movie theatre who was wearing a shirt that said, "Your Snoke theory sucks."
Nice.
I thought that was quite it's hilarious. But yes, Snoke isn't any of those people. Snoke is Luke Skywalker. Do you want to know why?
Why is that, Murray?
Right. In the concept for Episode 7, The Force Awakens, director J.J. Abrams, when talking about Snoke, especially his design, said that Snoke could have been very handsome during his early life. Right? Keep that in mind.
Yep.
Now, of course, because of Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker, we know that Snoke isn't real. Snoke is a puppet of Palpatine, a vessel to control. It's called a strand cast, and it was just like a clone that went bad, and Palpatine made use of it in his grand plan to puppet the First Order, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the Marvel Comics series, especially the 2021 issue of the Darth Vader comics, and issue 11, Darth Vader actually travels to Exegol using the Sith Wayfinder from Episode 9 with Uchi of Bestoon, who is sort of Palpatine's sort of Sith cultist assistant. They go to Palpatine's Sith laboratories, and there's tubes containing clones of sort of unknown bodies that sort of resemble Snoke, like the two that we see in Episode 9 when Kylo Ren's there, right?
Yeah.
Now, another thing that is in a tube is a hand, a cut-off hand, right?
Right, okay.
And I also have some other information here. Keep that hand in mind. Also, keep in mind, Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 4, I believe, The Siege, which involves the Mandalorian and his crew breaking into an Imperial base, and they find out it's not actually a base, it's actually a laboratory, and there are several sort of test tubes, and in those test tubes are like sort of fetus-like bodies of some unknown sort of white, pale figures, right? People have been saying that could have been an operation to possibly create another Emperor, create another Snoke, something like that, right?
Okay, yeah.
Now, go back to that hand. Go back to that hand. Whose hand is that, you're thinking? Could it be Luke's hand from Episode 5?
Could be.
Yeah, it cut off. Cut it off when he was, like you said, when Darth Vader, when he, channeled the dark side and fought his son on Cloud City, cut his hand off. That could be Luke's hand. It is Luke's hand, because Luke's severed hand has been discussed as a plot point before for the sequel trilogy. Because J.J. Abrams has said that in one of his earlier drafts on The Force Awakens, the film was supposed to open with Luke's hand, still clutching Anakin's old lightsaber, heading towards Jakku. All right?
Okay.
Oh yeah, sure. That sounds like a stupid opening for a Star Wars film, but hands have been mentioned before, especially Luke's cut-off hand from Bespin. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, what if Palpatine acquired this hand and used his knowledge of cloning? We know he's very skilled in cloning. The Mandalorian character Dr. Pershing was seen as being very interested in, especially Grogu, the baby Yoda. Very interested in him. To sort of extract his M count, which people have been saying means midichlorians, because they've been using the midichlorians of Grogu, of Baby Yoda, to sort of pump into Snoke to give him force powers.
It's a possibility.
Possibility, exactly. So could they be trying to replicate Luke Skywalker? And I'm thinking, how are they going to replicate Luke Skywalker and to turn him into Snoke? Well, let me also point you to an expanded universe source. All right?
Okay.
An expanded universe source, which actually pointed out Luke to be the second Emperor in a story called The Dark Empire, which unfortunately no longer exists due to the canonization of Star Wars. But a 1991-1992 series of novels called Dark Empire actually pictured Luke as the successor to Emperor Palpatine and detailed the resurrection of Emperor Palpatine all in clone bodies.
Oh.
So... And the story was Emperor Palpatine using these sort of youthful clones to try and turn Luke into sort of his vessel. So what if Palpatine tried to recreate Luke to sort of take over? It turned out bad, turned into Snoke. Palpatine was like, I could use this. So decided to use Snoke instead to puppet the First Order instead of creating a new Luke.
I mean, it's a possibility.
But if you're not convinced, Corey...
Oh, you've got more.
Yes, I do have more. But wait, there's more. Let me also point you to Luke. Do you know who Luke is? Not Luke. Luke with 2 U's.
Oh, right, okay, Luke, yes.
Luke Skywalker is a clone of Luke Skywalker from another run of Star Wars comics, where the Clone Wars were originally pitted as everyone in the galaxy fighting their own clone.
Oh.
So
I love the naming there.
Yes, indeed. What do you think about that? That is my theory, that Palpatine wanted to clone Luke to create his own Luke Skywalker, but then when it didn't work, he turned it into Snoke, and he used it. But also that very handsome comment, Mark Hamill, quite a handsome man when he was younger, and still is. But there we go. That's my.
There's definitely more evidence.
Yes.
For Snoke being Luke than being Mace Windu.
Yeah. So there we go. That is my second theory. Quite a bit of evidence for that one. So.
Now
what is your third theory?
Now, part of me wishes they do this at some point. If they did, it would not be canon. 100% it would not be canon, but I would love to see this. Could have even potentially, possibly saved the sequel trilogy. It wouldn't have done, because no one liked the recent trilogy of films, but, one can hope.
Right.
I am, of course, talking about, this theory. This theory was recent. I say recent, a couple of years ago now, got massive on Reddit and travelled the world. I am talking about most people's least favourite Star Wars character. But what if he was a Sith?
Oh no, you're bringing this theory out.
I am. I'm, of course, whipping out Darth Jar Jar.
Right, tell the listeners about Darth Jar Jar, why don't you?
Okay, well, everyone knows Jar Jar Binks, right?
Misa back.
Exactly. They will know him from The Phantom Menace, or be various memes about Jar Jar Binks. Now, Jar Jar Binks was an idiot, essentially.
Yes.
He was an idiot who was very accident prone, and his accidents would lead to several various outcomes. However, this theory suggests that Jar Jar Binks is not an idiot, and instead it's all a ruse. It's all planned, right? He's acting dumb. He isn't actually dumb. There's a couple somewhat reasons for this. One of them involves Palpatine himself.
Ah, okay.
And the fact that, now I may be wrong, I'm not a massive Star Wars, I have no knowledge of Star Wars, but Palpatine got a seat because of Jar Jar.
No, I think you're talking about Palpatine got his emergency powers in episode 2 because of Jar Jar to grant the creation of the clone army had already been created, to grant the use of the clone army at the Battle of Geonosis.
Exactly. And everyone's like, obviously Palpatine was hidden. No one knew he was evil, right?
Yeah.
But
Jar Jar was more hidden.
Exactly. Now, I have seen other stuff, people saying, he does these like massive leaps and he does the weird backflip aerobatic stuff. There's a whole video that's like half an hour long that explains this whole thing.
Yeah, he's using the Force.
And it's great.
Jedi mind tricks people by just moving his hand.
People are saying that whenever Jar Jar gets power, he uses the power like a Sith.
Yeah.
It's like a Sith. I mean, could you imagine, right? Cast your mind to episode 9. I know no one wants to see that, but cast your mind to episode 9, right? You're near the end, Palpatine's revealed, there's Rey, and all of a sudden Palpatine sat there, right? I haven't seen episode 9 in ages, but he sat there in his chair, and all of a sudden, just out comes from behind him this lightsaber wielding Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks, Mr. the Dark Lord of the Sith.
Would have saved the whole movie.
It was Jar Jar behind everything. And also, there's also the very infamous clips of George Lucas saying, Jar Jar's the key to all this.
Yeah.
Forget Jar Jar working, And Ahmed Best, the actor for Jar Jar, saying there was always more to him that we never got into because everyone didn't like him. So
I would love if, because I believe it's explained in a book or something, he becomes essentially a clown or something.
He does, yeah. In the Aftermath books, which I've read, it explains that Jar Jar was effectively, well, no, it was all Jar Jar's fault.
Yeah.
Because if Jar Jar didn't grant the emergency powers to Chancellor Palpatine, the Palpatine wouldn't have created the clone army.
Yeah. Therefore,
we wouldn't have had the Galactic Empire because of it.
Yes.
So everything could be boiled down to the fact that if Jar Jar hadn't done this one thing, the whole reign of the Galactic Empire wouldn't have happened, and Palpatine would never have gotten to more power. So thanks a lot, Jar Jar. But in a way, Jar Jar could have been a Sith. It could have been the secret master manipulating everything.
I'm waiting for like some kind of almost like, you know how Marvel's doing like the What If?
Oh yeah, the Star Wars. I'd like that actually.
I want that.
I'd like a Star Wars What If. What if Jar Jar was the Sith Lord? Yeah.
Love that.
Now,
can you beat that, Murray?
Maybe not. But let me cast you to first off. Let me cast you to a quote from George Lucas, if I can. When asked at a fan convention, is Earth in the Star Wars galaxy? George Lucas laughed it off, and his response was, "I don't know. Maybe it's near Tatooine."
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Keep that in mind, okay? Let me take you now to Star Wars Battlefront 2, the 2017 version, 2018, or I think 2018, 2017, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and the Galactic Assault map for Geonosis. Now, when you play online, this doesn't appear when you don't play in offline mode. When you play online, there is a console near an ATT walker, and that console has a map on it, on Geonosis, and the map looks sort of like there's sort of terrain on it and sort of things, but nothing discernible. However, there is something discernible on that map. Right in the corner, there are a few sort of shapes that don't resemble anything. Right? They're just just geography of Geonosis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
However, it is not just geography of Geonosis. It is in fact Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, and Lake Erie and Lake Ontario on the Canada-USA border, right?
Okay.
That connect the states of Michigan and Ontario, right? Ontario, Canada, and Michigan, USA. Mm-hmm. Right. Why would Geonosis have a map that is perfect, the picture perfect of these 5 different lakes? Because I tell you, Corey, Geonosis is Earth.
Right.
Now, point 1, okay? Point 1 is the fact that the Battlefront 2 is canon. So these lakes, these masses exist, and I have picture for picture here, and they are identical. These 2 images are identical. So Geonosis and Earth are the same planet.
Right.
So you're wondering, how has this happened? Now, Star Wars is set to be in a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying, is Geonosis a primordial Earth? So could that be the answer? Could another answer be that maybe a rumoured plan for the ending of Episode 9 was that Rey and Kylo Ren, and I'm not wrong about this, Rey and Kylo Ren were originally going to be Earth's Adam and Eve.
Okay.
That was a scrap plan for Episode 9. So, therefore, saying the long time ago in a galaxy far, far away line would be legitimate, but this adds more fuel to it, saying that these 5 lakes exist somewhere on Geonosis.
Yeah.
Now, they're probably drained. They're probably not lakes anymore, but they are there. So maybe, I don't know, after global warming, another ice age, or an asteroid impact, Earth is completely wiped out of all life, and the Geonosians could be some form of race that maybe spawned, I don't know, from cockroaches, from insects, from something that evolved after the humans wiped out, right?
Yep.
But let me point you to another thing. You remember that quote from George Lucas?
Yeah.
He said that, I don't know, maybe it's close to Tatooine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, let me take you all the way back to Attack of the Clones, and Obi-Wan is on Geonosis. He tries to transfer a message to the Jedi Council. He needs help on Geonosis. He's being attacked by droidicas. The Jedi Council are too far away on Coruscant. But Anakin and Padme, they're on Tatooine. Could they get to Obi-Wan any closer? Is there some way? Yes, because Geonosis and Tatooine are only 2 star systems away from each other. There's my evidence. There's my case. I rest my case. Geonosis is Earth.
Nice.
What do you think of that?
I mean, it could be. I wouldn't mind it being a thing.
It could possibly be Earth millions of years ago, before it was inhabited by humans. It could be in a different location. Tatooine could be a few star systems away. We know we're in the Milky Way. Tatooine could be a few star systems away from us. So
true. That's a good.
Exactly. So we do that is my grandest theory that
Wow.
Geonosis from Attack of the Clones is Earth. So take that however way you want. Take that however way you want to take it.
I mean, it's solid.
It is solid. I think it is a solid theory. I think there's enough evidence to say that the galaxy far, far away, as the Star Wars universe, maybe it's the very same galaxy that we're in.